Good morning, and question of the day. The question of the day is equine reproduction. How are we going to produce the best foal we can? Well, first of all, it starts out with a mare. So most of us don't have stallions around, but we do have mares standing around. So you have a mare you love. And let's say you're a roper and you rope on her, but let's say you want to go pro. And old Ginger doesn't have enough speed or this or that. So you need to find a stallion that is going to enhance the foal out of Ginger. So there's a couple things we're going to do first. First, you're going to want to see if Ginger is reductively sound. Reductively, that's not the right word. Anyways, you get what I mean. So you're going to haul Ginger to the vet and you're going to ask for an exam to see if she can even carry properly. There's a couple things about this. If Ginger's 18, the chances of you getting gingerbread decrease immensely. So you really want to stay under that 14 mark. So if you've got a mare you really like, 14 and under. And if you really like her and you plan on keeping her, breeding her 1 year and giving up a year so you can breed her later is not a bad idea. So anyways, let's get down that path. So we bring Ginger to the vet and we walk in and we're like, hey, we'd really like to breed this mare, but can you give her an exam and make sure she's fertile and sound to breed? So your vet's going to go in and look for a couple things. They're going to make sure she's got both her ovaries. Oddly enough, sometimes they don't. They're going to make sure she has a clean uterus. So what they're looking for there is, this is a good example here. See those dots in there? Those dots are fluid. That's not a clean, healthy uterus. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, Ginger's got some fluid buildup and we need to go ahead and clean that out. So we're going to flush Ginger. They're going to run pretty much a catheter in there, fill her up with fluids and things to clean her out, and then they'll flush it out. And they may do this a couple times. And what that does is it just cleans everything junky out, and then the vet will be like, okay, why don't you bring her back in 2 weeks and we'll check her again. So you bring her back in 2 weeks and Ginger's clean. The uterus looks amazing. So now you know that your mare is ready to actually find a stallion. So now you go on the hunt for the perfect stallion for Ginger, and you find the stud you like. Okay, there's a couple things you need to look for. I'm going to touch on this really quick. You're going to look for genetic disorders because, one, especially when you're in cow horses, they carry genetic disorders. You should have your mare tested and make sure that they're both not carriers so you don't end up with a foal that is completely useless to you and isn't going to stay healthy because genetically it can't. I want to touch on that more, but we don't have enough time, so I'd highly recommend getting these mares tested genetically for genetic disorders and make sure the studs don't carry them. All right, so we're going to move on. So you found the stallion that genetically doesn't carry anything, your mare doesn't carry anything. So you call the stallion owner, hi, so-and-so never bred a mare before. Please be in contact with the stallion. They want to hear from you, and they're going to walk you through. They're going to be like, okay, well, every time we collect that stud, we charge a shoot fee. So you're going to have a shoot fee. You're going to have a shipping fee. We